Hey guys, welcome back to the garage with the CBR 1000RR. Today I'm gonna teach you how to do a valve clearance check properly, and the only way of doing it is hanging from the ceiling. Just kidding. If you want one of those videos where they have outrageous claims and they show you how to fix the bike, wrongly by the way, this is not the channel for you. Today what I'm gonna do a valve adjustment. I've done another one on the 954 where you can actually follow along. This is the same exact procedure, so I'm gonna keep it more expedite. That's what you get over here. It's not glamorous. I don't make millions of views, but I'll show you how to do something properly. So now for the chit chat, let's get on it. Let's start over. Ciao belli, as you guys have noticed, there are a few things missing from the bike. I removed the rear frame over here, I removed the rear wheel, and a few other parts to make it easy, nothing difficult. And I also removed the valve cover on top of the engine to save some time. Nothing difficult about that. There is a lot of fiddling to get it out of the frame, and you need to undo the rubber gasket and get it off the valve cover, otherwise it's not gonna come through. But come closer and let's check the valve clearance. Another thing I forgot to mention is the clutch cable over here. I replaced it with a brand new one because it was fried down here, it was catching, so obviously I replaced it. Anyway, first step is to remove the cover bolt for the chain tensioner. It's easy enough, it's an 8mm. You go down here and you just undo it. The book calls to replace the crash washer. Most time the crash washer over there is fine, that there is not that much oil pressure going onto it. But in my case, I might gonna have to replace it because it just fell in there, and being aluminum, it doesn't stick to magnets, so we'll see if I can recover it. I'm gonna do the chain tensioner with this thing. So I built it myself. I follow the specs that are in the AINS manual. Hopefully it works. I'm not quite sure, I haven't tried it, but let's put it on. By using my superpower, stubbornness, or as we call it in Rome, latigna, I was able to make it fit. File a little bit here, a little bit there, made it fit, it works. And the chain over there is loose, so I can actually move on to the next step. All right, at this point I'm gonna remove the inspection cap over here, which is 17mm. Which I'm gonna have to replace. This one and the clutch cover, it's gotta go. Now, to help myself rotating the engine, I removed the spark plugs, which, by the way, they're actually in pretty good shape, all four of them. But I'm getting to it, it's down here, the bike has that many miles, so no matter what, I'm gonna replace them. Keep those as spare, just in case I need it, one is faulty or something, but you know, once you get in there, might as well replace it. There is no need to tempt the fortune. Once you're in here, first of all, I think this one is a 14. Yeah, feels like a 14. You gotta align the T mark with the notch on the case. That's why I haven't removed the case yet. And then there are another two marks that you gotta line up. The intake and exhaust marks on the head up here, and on the back side, thank you Honda, there is a dimple on the sprocket that needs to be aligned as well. At this point, I'm gonna check the clearance on intake 1 and 3. They point in different direction. 3 is pointing that way, 1 is pointing that way, but the angle is the same, so the clearance is the same. The clearance is supposed to be 0.16 millimeters plus or minus 0.03. I have 3 shims or 3 filler gauges. It's 0.13, 0.18, and 0.15. As long as one of those 3 fits in there properly, I'm good. But let's start with the proper one, with the target, which should be 16, but 0.15 will do, and see how this goes. This one seemed to fit properly. A little bit of resistance, but not enough to either be hard to push in or too loose. So this one will work. Now I'm gonna check the 18 and see how much resistance I get with the 18. All right, so on the first one, the 18 won't even go in. On the second one, I gotta force it. It is good. Same thing on this other one, so I reckon this is probably 15 or 16. This one is probably 17. This one is probably 17 as well. And yeah, they're all 17 because the 18 really needs to be forced in there. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna move on to the next. So I'm gonna rotate the crank 180 degrees and check, I believe is exhaust, either 2 and 4 or 1 and 3, I don't know. But as I said, the 954 video is exactly the same, but for the tolerances, because on the newer model, the tolerance for the exhaust, it's a little bigger. Other than that, the procedure is exactly the same. I'm not gonna bore you with that, so I'm gonna keep checking this stuff around and catch you up in a minute. All right, it turns out that the intake size, they're all within tolerance. On the exhaust side, they're all out of spec. So on the exhaust side, they're all 0.25 rather than 0.30. But that is gonna take a little bit, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. I replaced all the shims down there with the appropriate one. I put the retainer back on, and it's time to torque to spec. Once I torque it to spec, I'm gonna rotate the engine a few times and check the clearance one more time. But it's important that you actually torque it to spec before you check it again. And on that note, thank you very much to Enthus. They send over this torque wrench, which is made out of aluminum, and it's small enough for me to get into tight places. My other torque wrench, it's huge. It's either huge or the very little one for 2 to 12 Newton meters. This one is from 5 to 45 foot-pound of torque, which is 61 Newton meters. So it's perfect for the job over here, link in the description. They sent it over for me to try out. I didn't pay for it, so just so you guys know. But so far it's been working really good. I kind of like it. And I tested against the other to make sure that it's actually calibrated properly, and it is. So when you're torquing the bolts up here, remember to go on a star pattern. It's always a star pattern every time you have multiple bolts that work together. And it's always unnerving because once you do this, if anything breaks, well, you're in trouble, big trouble. All right, I'm gonna finish torquing those things. I'm gonna recheck the valve clearance. If it's good, I'll see you guys in very little time. If it's not good, I'll see you guys in a while.
2 hours later.
Everything is torqued properly. We're done over here. I double check that everything, all the markings are where they're supposed to be at the same time. And since the head is off, or the valve cover is off, I might as well just put new spark plugs in there because it's easier that way. I'm gonna put iridium spark plugs in there. And one thing with the iridium spark plugs to do, first of all, they're pre-gapped. So don't go in there and try to gap them because you're just gonna ruin them. Do not try to make the gap 1 millimeter. That's not what the book says. The book says, grab a 1 millimeter gap measuring tool and make sure it does not go through. If it goes through, it says to replace the spark plug. So pre-gapped, forget about it, put it in. Make sure it's a spark plug socket because once the spark plug is in there, it holds tight. If, when you do this, the spark plug falls into the hole, it's a 50% chance that it's going to hit the edge and close the gap and it's not going to work. So make sure of that. Don't drop it. Lower it in nice and easy. Make sure it's centered. Once it goes there, start tying. Once you can't tie it by hand anymore, torque wrench. All right, time to put the cover back on. Here it is, nice and beautiful, all clean and ready. But this is also gonna be a pain. In theory, if you leave the rubber gasket on it, it's not gonna fit because those things, those lobes over here are gonna touch and there is very little space back here where this thing is supposed to go. Also, you're not really removing it completely, you're just undoing it because the gasket is attached to the center and I definitely don't want to remove the center ones. So I'm gonna do this, leave it hanging in there, and it's gonna be a giant pain. That was a giant pain. And now I gotta torque those at 10 Newton meters because it's super tight. All right. The part that sucks is that if it's not properly seated or if it's pinched somewhere or if it's not torqued properly, I will not know until the bike runs. And by the time the bike runs, this area is going to be full of stuff. Throttle bodies are going to be here, injectors are going to be here, then a bunch of covers, and then the airbox with a bunch of wires attached to it going on. So it's going to be a giant pain if it does leak. So finger crossed, and let's hope I've done everything properly. But well, got dark outside, so it's enough for one day. Thank you very much to my patrons. You guys are a big help. If you want to become a patron, there is a link somewhere here or down there. For everything I used in this video, links are in the description, including the Unpud's torque wrench. Go check him out, but there is so much more to do and so many little things that are boring to look at, so most likely I'm gonna do it off camera and then give you an update, and if there is anything interesting going on, I'll let you guys know. But thank you very much for watching. Dai tutti, and I'll see you next time.